Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about a very important aspect related to type 2 diabetes, right? And this will clear a lot of doubts about, sugar spike, insulin spike, HbA1c, right? How to how to regulate your biology to prevent or manage your type 2 diabetes, right? So there are first thing is important to understand that we all know it is a lifestyle disorder, right? And it starts developing 20 years before the first symptom shows up, right? So if you have some sort of symptom which is coming up, it means that it started developing at least 15, 20 years back, right? And the sequence of events is such that, when your body is in imbalance in terms of in your gut and oral microbiome is imbalanced, right? It creates a situation where first your insulin spikes and fasting glucose spikes, and then finally HbA1c spikes, right? So if your HbA1c is spiking or even your sugar level is spiking, and you're trying to adopt means such as using continuous glucose monitoring machines, CGM machines, and a lot of such parameters and tools to actually suppress your blood sugar level, right, or HbA1c level, right? Uh, it is not going to reverse diabetes. You have already missed the bus because ultimately the focus has to be on preventing the insulin from spiking, and I explain you why, right? So you have to first understand, the cellular metabolism, right? So cellular metabolism involved in a lot of energy production, glucose uptake and insulin signaling, right? And this signaling cascade is something really important to understand the insulin sensitivity and regulating your you know glucose metabolism, right? And again, mitochondria also plays a key role because it uses oxygen to produce energy which is required, right? So what happens, how the entire process works, right? So when you eat something, your microbes in your mouth, right? They pre-digest and pre-process those foods, right? And so that it makes sure all the nutrients are made available for the absorption in the stomach and the small intestine, right? And besides these microbes also send signals to other body parts such as pancreas to their folks in the gut microbiome, right? And then cells pancreas will start releasing insulin, right? So when insulin is released, it binds to a lot of insulin receptors which are mainly mostly on all the cells, but majorly on the fat cells, on the skeletal muscle cells, and the liver cells, right? So there's a lot of insulin signaling cascade happening, and if your cells cannot produce nitric oxide, it disrupts this insulin signaling, right? And which is the starting point of insulin resistance. So as a final terminal step, all the insulin signaling cascades and merge at NOS, which is nitric oxide synthase, right? So if your NOS is dysfunctional, so it is uncoupled with endothelial cells, and endothelial cells, just for the information, is the cell which is lining all the blood vessels, right? So if this is an endothelial cell dysfunction or nitric oxide synthesis, which is enzyme, is uncoupled because of systemic inflammation, oxidative stress. And again, the lot of role of the systemic inflammation, oxidative stress is done by both oral and gut microbiome through production of lipopolysaccharides, right? Precresol and a lot of these harmful metabolites, right? So if it is uncoupled, so there is a lack of nitric oxide production, and then this impairs insulin signaling, right? So as a matter of fact, right, when this is working, NOS is working properly, a protein called GLUT4 is released, it goes to the cell membrane, binds to glucose and brings it back to the cell and removes it from circulation, right? But if your uh, if your body is not producing nitric oxide, if your microbiome is not contributing. So again, oral microbiome plays a very key role in producing nitric oxide because certain microbes in your mouth convert nitrate into nitrite, which mixes in stomach acid and produce nitric oxide, right? Other ways, obviously, the body produces L-arginine and arginine is converted into nitric oxide, right? And we really do not need to take too much of L-arginine from the food because it's a semi-essential amino acid, so your body can produce it. So if you know if your nitric oxide is uncoupled or endothelial cell is dysfunctional due to lower systemic inflammation caused by LPS or lower level of nitrate and weakness and a lot of these things, then GLUT4 is not raised, and then you have a lot of these uh, glucose into this low level of glucose uptake and glucose metabolism. There's a lot of glucose in your bloodstream, right? And again, this leads to inflammatory response and it gives a signal to pancreas to release more insulin to clear the glucose from the circulation, right? And this leads to hyperinsulinemia, hyperglycemia, and sudden product resistance, right? So if your body is not able to, if body is not producing nitric oxide, or there's a lot of inflammation going on because of LPS and precursor, a lot of these things, right? So it leads to insulin resistance over time because of over a period of time the pancreas become less efficient to produce insulin, right? And then this is a situation of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Now, if you are using CGM machine to track your sugar level in your blood, right? So you are just trying to suppress it. If your glucose is in circulation right now, and it means that your body is not producing right set of nitric oxide and it is not able to clear from circulation, right? Again, your CGM machine cannot track the level of nitric oxide production inside the body, right? So you cannot reverse diabetes even if maybe probably because of some right dietary choices you may regulate your blood glucose blood sugar level, but it will never reverse diabetes. It may help you overcome or remove medicines and metformin from your regime, but it is not going to reverse diabetes, right? Second thing, from a CGM perspective, I want to point it out that when you talk of CGM machine, it tracks the blood sugar spike of a meal. You don't say that I will eat rice, then I'll eat some lentils, then some vegetables, then some curd, some nut seeds. It doesn't work like that. So it tells you this spike of a meal, and then it doesn't tell you what specific food or what specific ingredient or food substrate is causing that spike, right? For instance, you may not know that almonds can spike your blood sugar level, right? So if your oxalate metabolism is low, if you do not have a set of microbes which can neutralize oxalic acid in spinach or almonds, it can spike your blood sugar level. Second thing, CGM cannot decode this insulin signaling happening at a molecular at a cellular level. It cannot decode the production of nitric oxide. Third thing, there is an uh, metabolite produced by a microbiome when you eat a lot of food which are high in histidine amino acid like milk and a lot of these high protein diets, so high protein foods. So it can lead to production of secretion of a metabolite called enzyme propionate, which impairs glucose metabolism, which can lead to uh, insulin intolerance at a molecule level, which your figure will not be able to decode. Third thing is precresol. Again, precresol is produced uh, when you consume a lot of foods which are high in tyrosine, again an amino acid, right, which gets converted into precresol by certain bacteria. Those bacteria are active in specific virulence genes, right? That is not for everyone, right? So you really need to understand whether your body or microbiome is producing precresol or not, or the microbes who are producing precresol are active or not, right? So this precresol first spikes insulin, impairs insulin signaling. Second thing is it also suppresses your GLP-1 production. Now, GLP-1 production and PRI are something which is related to your satiety, right? It can lead to obesity and chance of insulin resistance, right? So all these metabolites, these are few metabolites I've shared, right? There are a number of others which can impair insulin signaling at molecular levels. These will not be decoded by CGM machine. So CGM machine is like tracking. It's like a glucometer. It's just tracking your, increase in blood sugar level or fall in blood sugar level. But it is good to understand your uh, blood sugar response, but it is not going to help you. If someone is claiming that it is going to reverse diabetes, it is going to not reverse diabetes. It is all bad, obnoxious claims. It doesn't work like that. So you need to understand the molecular level activities happening inside the body, the cellular metabolism, right? The metabolites released by the microbiome, what molecules are being produced, what metabolites are being secreted, how cells are interacting with your microbiome, how microbiome is impacting your body organs. There's a number of these interactions happen, which you really need to understand. Without that, you cannot really take control of your metabolic health, right? All these are fat recommendations that even we are now shared few examples that uh, even some foods high in protein can trigger insulin, impair insulin signaling at a molecular level, which may not come up, which may not show up in your blood works, or which may not show up in your CGM machines, right? So there's a lot of these molecular risk which may not show up in your all these plasma level investigations, right? But obviously these molecules are being produced in the body, which is going to cause insulin resistance in next few years down the line, right? So all it is really important to understand. That's why we at Gene Freakletics have recently built diabetes type 2 diabetes prediction model, what we call as prediclame, right? So based on 17 biological pathways, we can actually see whether you're moving towards or away type 2 diabetes or development of type 2 diabetes, right? And we can also predict the glycemic response to 320 plus foods. So you can know whether almond, spinach, certain protein, pistachios, vegetable pulses would be able to would be spike your insulin or not, right? So again, these all come as a part of our intervention. There is no additional charge for this, right? It's a part of our entire 6 month subscription program, right? So this is really important from a type 2 diabetes perspective, considering that 100 million people have diabetes or are developing it, right? And this is really a big concern, right? So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, right? Uh, that's it for today. Have a great day. Thank you very much.